Why do you think you might have a phobia about chicken nuggets?
The champion chase for me is he's to lose.
I swear he still wants to be Welsh to this day.
You had your hair cut, I can see. Who does that?
I do.
I can see that.
No drama this end. Salva, Etait, Temps, Jello, Lulamba, so Majborough. So many horses in the last few days have thrown their hat into the ring for both the King George meeting at Kempton over Christmas and, of course, the Cheltenham Festival. This is Unbridled. We are Season 2, Episode 4. Myself, Matt Chapman, and I was thinking, what are you? What are you, Paddy? How would you describe yourself? What are you? To this show, what are you?
Gentle.
Am I your ice
Gentle, yeah.
to your Top Gun?
Kind. Cool. Calm.
Would you say you're Irish through and through?
Oh, I'm Irish, alright.
Why have you come with red, white and blue then?
I never thought about it like that.
Something you perhaps will think about in the future. Anyway, look, if you want to turn, that's fine with me. So much to look forward to. Thank you very much, as always, to Boylesports. We are in association with them. For those of you who like to be reminded every week, no, the TVs still don't match. Although I actually quite like the fact that now a hammer has gone to this corner here and it's now chipped. But it's never going to be matched. And we just give you out a Boylesports offer right at the top of the show. New offer if you want to have your bets with Boylesports. Join and bet £10 and get £30 in free bets. Terms, though, and conditions. Something that you know all about. Are you still under your curfew or are you allowed out now from the house?
No, I'm just back out now. It's Cheltenham this weekend. So.
What have you been doing over? We'll go with the horses in a minute. But what have you been up to? Brennan.
My life's pretty boring, Matt. I don't. Yeah, just pretty basic. Got a few horses at home. Syndicate runners been quiet. We've got a couple this weekend, and put the Christmas tree up.
Are you real or fake?
We tried fake, but nah, real, Matt.
Real. And is it one the old thingies keep dropping every day and you keep hoovering?
Luckily the kids are there to put them back on, but
no, they can't put the pines.
Oh yeah, you have
green things.
You have to hoover them up, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I actually don't think. Do you have carpet underneath or is it on a hard surface?
Carpet.
Yeah, carpet. You really have to hoover. I'm lucky. Mine's on a how would you describe it?
Tiles, Matt. Tiles, yeah.
It.
Very simple.
That's it. Yeah. Definitely brush, pan, and brush. It's much better than hoover.
Okay.
Yeah.
And real?
Oh yeah. Yeah, picked it out myself.
And
it's got a big arse on it. Like it's bulbous. It's like it's more like that. Actually, it's built like me, my tree. It's more like that than like that. I love a big arse on a tree.
Do you?
Yeah. Like a.
Yeah.
Like it's got substance. And do you put tinsel on?
No.
No, never tinsel on a tree. Never. I actually think the less you dress a tree, the nicer it looks.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think it's
naked.
It's got a big arse. I don't know if I should have it naked, but anyway, no, not naked.
No,
that would look very old, wouldn't it?
Right.
Well, I've been busy. I know you were going to ask me how I've been, because I know how much you care. But yeah, I've been all over the place. So what have I done? I had a good time. I had an interesting time at Aintree. I had some equipment malfunction, which meant that I couldn't do quite all the stuff I was meant to be doing up there. But I had an experience with in the paddock at Aintree. So Excello was running in the Beecher for Nicky Henderson, owned by Angela Yeomans, a lady who I've interviewed many times.
Rather a winner.
Yeah, lovely lady. But always someone is that Angela? Isn't it Angela? Because I don't think it's disrespectful. It's a little old lady. And I was just thinking, is that her? And I wasn't 100% sure, so I thought I'd do the professional thing. Ben Pauling was there, former assistant to Nicky Henderson. I thought, if anyone knows if that is definitely Angela, it's Ben Pauling. Went to Ben, said, that is Angela over there, isn't it? In the end, yeah, 100% Angela. Straight up to her, Excello started walking away a bit oddly. Excello, don't be shy, Angela. And she said, no, I'm not Angela. Nothing to do with Excello at all, and wasn't Angela Yeomans, so that wasn't very helpful.
Not ideal, Matt.
Drove all the way back from Liverpool to 338 nightclub in London.
Right.
Introduced a band on stage there called they're not the Manor anymore. They're Dutch and Graft now. That is such a buzz.
What's
of all
that?
the jobs I do, that's the most exciting.
Bit of rave, that, isn't it?
It is a bit. Well, that's sort of, I don't know what you'd call them, grimy, sort of poppy, sort of rappy sort of stuff. But I introduced them once on stage at Brixton Academy before it actually closed down. But now I think it's reopened again. That was great because that was about 5,000 people. This was probably about, I don't know, 2,000 people. But it was all right. It's a great buzz. Got booed.
Booed.
Yeah, but brought it back round again.
Well done. You got the room back, Matt.
Yeah, and then I went to Tottenham last night, 3-0, so that was fun. So yeah, I've really enjoyed the last few days. Anyway,
and you had your hair cut, I can see.
Well, I cut it every day anyway.
Who does that?
I do.
I can see that.
Well, after that rather tricky moment, we'll move on, Pad. Let's start with what I like to call the weekend review and the anti-post outlook. Let's start with the Champion Chase. Two angles in here, the hilly way over in Ireland, but we're going to start obviously with the Tingle Creek. Okay, summing up, dominant Etait Temps. John Bon now, I think we can all say, is a bit player rather than a main player. And Loda Sud, Dan Skelton wasn't patient. He didn't wait. And for me, he paid the price there. Talk me through what you made of the Tingle Creek.
Yeah, John Bon obviously had the cheek pieces on. You could see he was sort of more on it at the start. Look, there's no knocking the horse, what he's done over his career, but it's just getting harder for him. Etait Temps. He was good, Matt. It worked out well for him.
By Paul Townsend.
Yeah, Paul Townsend. And Loda Sud, Harry Skelton, you could see as soon as the second fence, he was on a stretch over that ditch. It just, a little bit flat. And they said after straight to the Champion Chase. But the winner was superior on the day. Look, it's a Tingle Creek. They're hard to win. It was good for Paul Townsend. It was his first ever one. But Matt, when you go to move on from there to something like the Champion Chase, it's a whole different ball game.
In what way, though? Because who is going to turn up that makes it that much of a different ball game?
Well, if Nationale ever happens to run, the Champion Chase for me is he's to lose at the minute. I think he ticks the boxes. He likes Cheltenham. Matt, it's a very open Champion Chase, but he's coming more to the fore the more races I watch. Mainly because other horses are not throwing their cards the right way up at the moment, as in they're not really showing much. Very much so. Like John Bon, you spoke about him, and even if he is at his best, you still have to question his Cheltenham form. The winner, Cheltenham form, is sceptical, and Loda Sud has to step up. I just think Nationale has been there, won on the track, likes it. He's the one I'd want to be on at the minute. Sergino? Well, Sergino is schooling over hurls from what we hear, Matt. I've seen Nicky Henderson. Have you heard from him? Or? No, I don't think I'm in Nicky's good books at the moment. No, probably. But, so, he's going on a whole different route at the moment, but as we can see, things can change. I'm going to come back to that little chat in a moment. I hadn't even considered doing this. Should we give Barry Connell a quick call and see what the latest is with Nationale? He's probably right in the middle of training. We're recording this on a Wednesday morning, as everyone knows. It's actually, as we're talking right now, 9:30. So I'd have thought it would be just about the worst time to ring Barry. So let's try. Let's see if he picks up. He might or he might not. Never know. Oh.
Hello.
Barry, Matt Chapman here.
Hello, Matt.
Well, you don't sound very pleased to hear from me.
I'm always pleased to hear from you, Matt. Because it means I had a good horse. You wouldn't want to talk to me if I didn't.
Well, you're very kind. Look, I appreciate this isn't perhaps the best time to call you, but I'm on our podcast, Unbridled, with Paddy Brennan, who's next to me, and we're just chatting about the Champion Chase, and we kind of didn't know when we're definitely due to see Nationale. Like, what's the very latest?
Well, the plan all along has been to go to Christmas with him for the Grade 1 and then on to the Dublin Racing Festival. We were going to have a kind of a warm-up run in the 4-3 at Chase, but the ground was waterlogged and the thing was abandoned. So look, we didn't really need to run him. He's all the experience got from last year, and the plan remains to go to Leopardstown twice, Cheltenham and Punchestown.
Right. And is that just because you feel with a horse like that 4 runs is basically as much as he can be peaked for, if you see what I mean? Like, is that the reason, rather than there's been ever anything much wrong with him or anything?
No. I mean, like, he's a very light trained horse. It's very easy to get fit. I mean, last year what he lacked was experience over jumps, because he only had 2 runs as a novice, and then he got a suspensory injury. So when we were starting last year, we were kind of behind the 8 ball. In that we had to step up into open company with only 2 runs under our belt. So we knew we were going to, need a couple of runs to get up to speed at, proper senior champion chase level. And that was the case. It was a build through the season. We started at Nace and had a nice run, and then the 2 Leopardstown runs we were improving the whole time, and then he obviously peaked for Cheltenham and Punchestown, and this year round it's going to be different. We've already had him away for a racecourse school over fences, and he was really good, so everything is on track. We couldn't be happier with him.
Right, because you're one of those fellas, Barry. Usually when you call you are absolutely buzzing. You come out with some gems, usually about how you're going to go and win this and that. This is the first time I've spoken to you for a very long time where I haven't quite felt you're buzzing.
Yeah, no. I listen. The horse will talk for himself. I mean, he's. I just felt in the past that the horse has probably been underrated a little bit, and what we were seeing ourselves at home, I felt that it was important to say what we were seeing at home.
Right, I see what you mean. So you just felt, now he's the champion chaser, he kind of speaks for himself.
Chaser. Yeah, he speaks for himself. Look, and as I said it at in fact, the file was coming to take him on a Punchestown. We're the champion chaser, and if anybody wants to come and have a go, the best of luck to them.
Yeah, and just William Munny, obviously he's had a little setback. I mean, are you sure we'll see William Munny in the champion hurdle? Is that no doubt?
No, you can never be sure, Matt. With horses, the plan is to go to the champion hurdle, and we will look at getting a run into him beforehand. We did have a setback. The horse was lame last week, and we did all the scans and tests on him, and it's nothing structural. It's not. The X-rays and the scans are clear. What it is it's a bit of muscle damage in his hindquarters. So it's a question of how long that takes to recover. Could be 2 or 3 weeks. If it is 2 or 3 weeks, like we've 9 weeks. There's a race in Gorham Park, the Red Mills trial. It's in the middle of February.
Right.
It's a grade 2. And actually, before the Dublin Racing Festival, that used to be the main trial for the champion hurler. I think Cardi used to run it every year.
Yeah.
And that would give us nine weeks. So look, I can't be confident, but I'd be reasonably optimistic that the main thing is to get him to Cheltenham in March, and I think we have every chance of getting to go and getting a run into him and getting back on track for
Barry,
Cheltenham in March. wasn't ideal what happened last week, but look, these things happen. You know, with the better horses, it always seems to happen to them more than the ordinary ones because they just try harder.
Yeah. No, we get that. Look, Barry, you're an absolute gentleman for picking up. I appreciate it. It's not an ideal time in the morning. So really, really good to speak to you as always. And fingers crossed for both horses and can't wait to see them.
Okay.
Cheers, Barry. Have a good day.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Didn't fill me with confidence. I mean, Barry's usually absolutely buzzing. And he usually talks about Nationale about, he'll just win. Like, it doesn't matter who turns up. He's the best horse. William Munny, I couldn't back him for anything on the back of that conversation, could you?
Yeah, look, Matt,
muscle damage.
It's first thing in the morning when you're training horses and you've got one that's a bit lame. It's not everyone jumps out of bed with a Faugheen t-shirt on and a hair spiked up like yours. So, look, I wouldn't read too much into that. I think Nationale...
Can I just say that while I did jump out of bed with this I do not wear in bed.
Right.
What do you wear in bed? Do you wear anything?
No.
You're a naked sleeper, are you? Naked and proud.
No, I'm proud. Definitely not proud, mate.
You'd be fitter than I am. Prouder than me. Tell you what, feel like Flipper.
But
anyway, carry on.
Yeah, no, but Nationale, the more you look at it, and we move on to Majborough in a minute, he's the one I'd want to be riding in the champion chase, man.
Nationale. Yeah, okay. So what about Majborough? Kevin Blake wrote a whole big article on the At the Races website, Blakey's Take, saying that everyone was over-egging, basically, the bad jumping, because he's always been a bad jumper. What did they expect? And then said he'd be better when he goes left-handed again, except that he jumped crap in the champion chase. So I'm not quite sure about Kev's logic there. Obviously, we're not going to give him the benefit of trying to... we won't give him the benefit of responding. He's Blakey. But I don't know. There's nothing about Majborough that impresses me as a chaser at the moment. What about you?
Talks plenty, that Kevin Blake. I've never
does
met the bloke.
talk a lot. A lot of it's rubbish as well.
Anyway, Majborough, Matt. Watch that race. Only time he'll see Cork Racecourse again is if he's in a lorry looking out the window going past it, Matt. And I mean that. Everton was against him. And the minute he jumped off, it wasn't good. Matt, to be the best, to be a Kodo Star, Hurricane, Fly, the list is endless. You have to do everything right. You have to jump. He doesn't jump. He definitely doesn't jump going right-handed. As well, and on really soft ground. Matt, to describe Majborough, he's what I would call a horse with a straight back. And that's something you can never really fix. I know you mentioned earlier maybe go back over hurls. I'm not so sure about that. But Matt, he's straight back. So what I mean by that, if he's getting into a jump, an obstacle close, he has basically having to kick himself through it. He's not able to come up and bend like the normal horse. He's having to take it with him a little bit. Not that nice. Again, we speak about good horses. You can't always defend them when they're not that nice, and he's not. What you got to do is try and make it easier for him. Everyone spoke about in the Arkle when he got beat, Matt. He made the mistake at the second last. That's not to me where his race was lost. Mark Walsh was getting a lead on him. He is not an easy ride. I think he might have even struggled to get him to start without him bolting. But he jumped off in the Arkle in Cheltenham. He had a lovely lead off 2 or 3 or maybe 2. He jumped well. But Matt, with a circuit to go, a couple ran off the bend. He spotted the gap on the inside and he took off to the front. To me, that is where the Arkle was won and lost. Okay, he made the mistake at the second last. But the reason he's making the mistake, Matt, is because when he's in front as well, he's looking at everything as well, bar defence. And he's almost going cold underneath you. The revs are dropping down, and then, of course, when you're in short and he's straight back, he's kicking it out of the ground. Look, you'd love to see him almost have a pacemaker. One of JP's. Just jump off and go a proper gap. If he only even had to follow one, Matt, he'll jump better. I think going back to Leopardstown over Christmas, I imagine that's where he'll go. You'd like to see a different horse going left-handed. Again, I think a lead would really help him. But he's as hard a ride you'll ever get over fences. And I mean that. There'll be some horse, you go back to Moscow Flyers and that would have sceptical to the odd mistake. This lad could make a mistake of 8 fences, he could kick 3 of them out of the ground. That has got to improve. At the moment, he's got more against him than with him for a champion chase.
See, with this horse, what I feel with him is that he's not what they thought. So this was Willie Mullins after he won the Triumph Hurdle. This was the quote from Willie Mullins that day. When Majborough came into yard, they told me he was our Triumph Hurdle horse. I'm looking at him and thought he's a Gold Cup horse, a 3-mile chaser. Now, at the moment, we're trying to make him into a champion chaser. Willie Mullins thought he was a Gold Cup. He won the Triumph Hurdle. After that, I remember Willie going crazy about what a beautiful horse he was, stamp of a chaser, all that kind of thing. Like, they were, although he was their main Triumph Hurdle horse, even though he was 6-1 on the day, he kind of was built like a chaser.
Yeah.
I did ask Willie about hurdling because I just thought maybe this horse has just fooled everyone. Like, he looks like a chaser. Maybe he's not. He said, I'm committed to chasing at the moment. I wasn't happy with the chasing in the Hilly Way, but I haven't had any thoughts of doing anything else. But if you've got Etait Temps, I mean, Majborough's not going to beat Etait Temps, is he?
Well, I'm not going to say he wouldn't, and going back to Cheltenham, maybe he would. But Majborough's maybe a horse that would be suited to French fences. You know, where you brush through him and you don't get that high off the ground. You're quicker from A to B. That's how he looks to me. But park fences in England and Ireland, you don't kick them out of the ground. It's costly, Matt, and he was uprooting them at Cork. And again, to me, he was the best horse in the race. Gordon Elliott's had a run. It kept the pressure on. But look, there's lots to work on, but he's got to jump better.
We mentioned Sagina. I just want to bring him into this conversation because we're talking so much about this champion chase market. Nicky Henderson, after Sagino won at Kempton, this was his quote. It was frightening, to be honest. Nico thinks he's a superstar. Now we've seen what he's done over fences. He certainly can't go back over hurdles. Now, to be fair to Nicky, of course, the horse nearly died. He's come back, and now they're thinking, obviously, it might be easier to win a champion chase than it is champion hurdle than it is to win a champion chase. But I am surprised in some ways that they're doing that. Just one other angle I wanted to ask you about that. We don't know what's happening with Constitution Hill, and we almost really wanted to do the whole show without mentioning him. We don't know what they've got up their sleeves. But someone did say this to me on social media the other day, and I already had the thought, and I kind of think, like, all we're hearing about is Sagino. But if Constitution Hill and Sagino ran in the Christmas hurdle... First thing, Constitution Hill has only ever fallen left-handed. He's never fallen right-handed. Now, he did make a bad mistake in the Christmas hurdle last year, down the back, I remember, so he's probably not flawless right-handed, but he's never fallen right-handed. If they wanted to mix anything up, then Nico obviously could ride Sagino, and technically they could stick another jockey on Constitution Hill, if that was even in their mind. I have no idea what's in their mind. Maybe Constitution Hill's never going to race again, who knows? But I'm just saying that option is still out there. You could run them both.
Yeah, it is. I think we're all a bit done with Constitution Hill speaking about him, Matt, and stuff. It's a lot of work going on there behind the scenes, and if he turns up in a Christmas hurl against Sergino and others, I'd still be against him. I'd still be against him. I think Sergino, it will be his race, and I think, look, Matt, we haven't seen much footage of him, but he's a hell of a horse. Like, his performance over fences at Kempton was as good as you could see over 2 miles. And to answer your question, going back into a champion hurl route compared to a champion chase, I'd say there's a toss of a kind, Matt. I've never seen a champion hurl or a champion chase so open at the Cheltenham Festival.
Even while I speak, photos of Nico de Monville are coming through to me.
How is he?
He seems good. I'll get to that in a minute because we're going to talk about Lulamba, where Nico was absolutely fantastic, I thought, in the Henry VIII. This is the latest. This just come through from Sam Twiston Davis. This is Nico. I'm not sure which horse this is. Could well be Constitution Hill, but there's Nico. Well, it's an extraordinary. Not many people wear a tie when they're about to ride out, are they? But it's not the only one, actually. That was from Sam Twiston Davis. Thanks, Sammy. This one came through from Tom Bellamy the other day. Remember, we started off by talking about coloured corduroys. This was Nico at the races the other day.
Nice.
Would you wear those?
I would, yeah. To the skip.
Would you? Would you?
To the skip, yeah.
To the skip. Okay, and Bellamy likes to get Nico, and he got him sat in the weighing room the other day. I don't know if you've seen.
He's plenty of time sitting there. Go on, Matt.
Yeah, this was the overhead shot. I sometimes think that pictures say more than words, but it's an unfortunate shot, isn't it? Why are you looking at my hair? At least it grows.
We don't need to see that.
Well, we have seen it. Anyway, we're going Nico mad.
Why we're talking about this?
Let's talk about Lulamba.
Let's go back to the weigh room. Nico obviously spends plenty of time sitting there, but There was talk I see on the PGA. Is it about New Way? Was it New?
Oh, New Wayne ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Disgraceful.
What do they need?
Saunas.
Saunas.
Yeah.
They want soft cushions.
I'd have a soft cushion, yeah. Why wouldn't
What
you
do they want? Somewhere nice to sit?
Yeah.
Matt, I never went to the races to have cushions to sit on. Let me tell you,
You'd throw them.
don't be fooled by any of this. Mental health in that place is a lot more serious than any seat they're sitting on. Don't want to be reading that. Go on.
I've written about this already. I'm waiting for the day to release this feature. I actually think saunas and mental health are linked together. I think the conversations that jockeys used to have in saunas together is actually something badly missed.
If you want to make a point there, you're not making a bad one, Matt, because it is. You know what's good about the sauna? You can't take your mobile phone in there. Just shortly before I retired, I was in the weigh room at Cheltenham. Load of Irish lads. Sorry, lads, no names, but a load of Irish young lads lined up on a bench, Matt. Very long bench. They're all staring at their phones. Now, if I come over to Cheltenham and I seen an experienced jockey walking in, I'd stick my phone down and just think, what have you got to say? This is where the world and life has changed. No, they weren't interested what any senior jockey had to change. They were looking at their phone at probably TikTok or SipChat or whatever it is. Dung. But Matt, your point about the saunas, if you want to talk about the sauna, as in where people can talk, then get it back. Not sure about the sweating, and I stay out of all that. But Matt, going back to these weigh rooms, people to come out and start talking about the seat and soft cushions, and mental health is the biggest problem in there. And it makes me angry when I read stuff about softer seats.
Who wants a softer seat? I haven't read that.
Well, what do they want?
Well, I think they just want somewhere to change.
Well, they have somewhere to change.
Well, they don't. The female jockeys haven't, so they've had to redevelop all the, the
that's
male
the
jockeys' rooms as well.
Right.
Yeah,
Fine. But that's
I haven't heard anyone ask for a soft cushion.
No, I'm saying that.
Right.
There's a bigger problem in there than the state of the weigh room.
Lulamba, very, very talented horse. I think that's fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. With lots to learn.
Lulamba.
Yeah, still. It's only a 4-year-old.
He was good, Matt. I was probably knocking him at Exeter. Fences were out. Didn't look that comfortable on that ground, but Sandown. Harry Skelton down over the first. He had a plan. He was going to serve it up to this boy. And out on his head he went, Matt. I thought, here we go. We're going to test you today. The one thing I always have in the back of my mind with Lulamba, Matt, is he got beaten in the Triumph. My thing is, whether Nico would have liked to sit longer or done things differently to win. Them good horses, Matt, real good ones, just win. You can make excuses in the Triumph, but if you're that good, you still win. Now, moving back to Sandown, he was awesome. He did it awesome. And they put him to the test early, he came alive down the back, and he hit the line hard in a place like Sandown. It was 9.5 out of 10 for me.
What I loved about him was that I genuinely thought there was so much to work on. The first 2 or 3 fences, he didn't have the know-how of be aware and quite understand what Harry was thinking. Okay, we'll test you, son. We'll test you. Are you really up to this? Are you man enough at this stage of your life? And Lulamba was a bit, oh, God, this is all happening a bit fast. The counter to that is maybe he just needs further, but I don't think he does. I just think he's learning.
Yeah, very much so. Good horse, isn't he?
Yeah. And you're right, I get you, but I've got to, when I want to challenge you on things, I will. He did go to Punchestown and he went and won.
Okay.
So he didn't.
I know, but I'm just trying. Sometimes you have to, if there's any weakness, that's where I find it. I say go back to the Triumph, you question maybe if Nico had set longer, but Matt, as I say, them real good ones. I've given so many good horses bad rides and they've still won. They were the good ones.
Copet de Bourg remains favourite for the Arkle, ahead of Lulamba, 74 and 2-1 roughly. Romeo Coolio is absolutely the bet in the Arkle. Forget about all the others. This Romeo Coolio is so underrated. Brilliant the other day at 5-1. Had his owner on actually last week. I did bump into him the other day. He was very happy. He got 5 more followers on X because of the show. And apparently his boy was very excited that they got 5 followers from us. You'd hope for a few more.
No.
But just the 5. I want to talk about no drama this end. There was a moment.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you want to talk about him.
Actually, no, I don't want to go back to Lamba, just because, of course, he smashed up Salva in that West Country race. Gary always knew he was going to step. I mean, Gary, to be honest, is running a Salva over completely the wrong trips, isn't he? Stepped up in trip at Sandown.
But is he though, Matt?
Well, he has been, yeah.
No, he learns plenty though, doesn't it? Sometimes you can make a horse by running him over the wrong trip.
Tell me more. Why?
Because, you go back to Exeter, so he's out of his comfort zone. He's learning quick, Matt. You're having to pick a name when you step up and trip. Everything's easier, Matt. You've learnt at speed. Everything slows down. Maybe that was done on purpose. But if there was any trainer in the whole country needed a weekend, like Gary Moore had, it's him, Josh and Jamie. They had a massive weekend, and I'm absolutely delighted for them.
Yeah. Grafters. Absolute geezers, all of them.
Matt, honestly, I dread to think. Jamie says it could be 4 a.m. It could be even earlier when they're getting out of bed. Crazy stuff.
Yeah. Whole family as well. Jamie's missus, everyone. Everyone is mucking out doing stuff.
I went to Plumpton, Matt, once, and it was a 2-day meeting. Never forget. Jamie said, "Would you like a bed?" I said, "I'd love one." Well, I didn't tell me it was what time I was getting up in the morning, Matt. Oh, that was early. Never as tired in all my life. I thought I was having a night away.
So just to be absolutely clear, you don't want jockeys to have a cushion in the weighing room, but you'd love a bed at night if Jamie's nice bedding and nice duvet and stuff, but no cushions in the weighing room.
No, just stay in it longer, Matt.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, Salver was very, very good, and like a lot of theirs the weekend, they ran some lovely horses, Matt, and hopefully it's the start of a big season for them.
Yeah. I mean, Salver could be right up there with as good as,
He's not a horse over the years that would have really caught my attention, Matt.
He's not very old. He hasn't been around very long.
No, he just wouldn't have been. But yeah, he couldn't have been any more impressive. We love a horse to stay, Matt. Love a horse to hit the line. He did that.
Yeah. He could be really good, Salver, I think. I don't know what they're aiming for, because he could run in anything. Like National Hunt Chase, he could run in. He could run in a 3-miler for novices at Cheltenham.
Nice problem.
Right-handed, left-handed.
Nice problem to have.
Just mud. That's the only thing with him. You'd want to know it's a muddy festival before you had your anti-post bet. But right, let's go back to no drama this end. There was just a moment turning for home at Sandown where Cobden just had to nudge, and I thought, this is going to be an absolute horror show. And then, it was like cue card coming down to that fence at the top of the hill, back on the snaff before you decked him, of course. But yeah, that's how good he was.
He was good, Matt. And honestly, Max McNeill, it's lovely to hear his enthusiasm and his voice and his dream, and long may it last. But Matt, do you know what he does, this horse? He loves the soft and he loves the heavy. Just, come Cheltenham on better ground, there might be other horses improve around him. And the Sandown race, he was impressive, Matt. But don't forget, the horse he turned in going well beside on Nigel Twiston Davis's outside, I think it was Anthony Honeyball's, finished last. A lot of them didn't quite finish the race, but he looks the part. He's doing everything really good, and the dream is alive, Matt.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, it's 10 o'clock. He has to have done his entries by now. If he's doing them at 2 minutes to 10, I think I should.
Now give him a ring there, Matt.
These websites that keep telling me to log on all the time, driving me absolutely mad, Paddy. Yeah, I might. We'll give him 2 minutes. We'll come back to him.
Why don't we ring Max McNeill?
I don't have Max's number. That's why. Do you want to try and ring him?
Yeah, you speak to him though. He's bored of speaking to me. He might not answer. He will answer.
It'd be annoying if every time we've called from my phone they answer, but the one time we call from your phone they don't pick up. Right, Paddy, what horse are you trying to flog me today?
Max, answer the phone. You're doing me out of a job here.
This is great to you. This is great. This is what I've always wanted.
Paddy.
Oh, it's Matt Chapman here. I'm with Paddy Brennan. I was really hoping you wouldn't answer, but unfortunately you have, which makes him look like he's just crowing here and saying, my mate Max and all this kind of stuff. We're on the podcast, Unbridled. Have you got just 1 minute?
Yeah, of course I have.
You're a start. Right, we're going to put you up to... So really, we're just chatting about no drama this end and how exciting this horse is. I mean, he could be as good as you've had.
Well, Matt, I've never had a horse that's so exciting after his first 2 starts over hurdles. And, even as a bumper horse, he did well, as, he did pretty well, didn't he? But I think, when he did what he did at Cheltenham, I was thinking, blimey, this horse is pretty special. And then you sort of put your feet back on the ground and think, well, is he that special? You look at the race, the race beforehand, the conditional jockeys 0 to 125, I think it was a little bit quicker, and you're thinking, oh, blimey, this bubble's about to be popped. And then when he did what he did at Sandown, beating 4 good horses, let's face it, because I know what Ollie thinks of the Blue Room, and, he thinks the world of him. So, when he did it again, you're thinking, well, this is exciting, Matt. I haven't had many like him, if ever.
And I think, Max, with you, like, everyone would like you to have a superstar in this game. You've piled money into it. We all know how much you love it. I remember standing next to you at Aintree, and you almost had a fit through the whole race sort of thing that we were watching that day. Like, you absolutely, this goes through your veins, this sport.
Oh, it does, Matt. And look, that's very kind of you to say so. And we keep trying. I mean, we haven't got I was just reading some of the horse that Rich Richards bought, and good luck to him because he puts a lot into it as well. But we haven't got those kind of funds to be able to invest in the sport. But we try and do it where we can. I've got some good partnerships with various people, and watching the Grand National. When you have a horse in the Grand National, Matt, you really do live and breathe every jump. It is unbelievable experience, and you actually caught me at it because it's so blooming nerve-wracking that there's nothing quite like it. And yeah, you're right, this sport is in my blood. I absolutely love it. It's not just about the horses, it's about the people, it's about the whole thing, the whole package. It's a great sport to be involved in. Some great people involved, from trainers to owners to jockeys to people in the media, yourself included. And, it's just a great sport to be involved with.
You'll see him tomorrow night.
You'll see him tomorrow night? Yeah.
We will.
Yeah, we will. We'll see you tomorrow night at John Hunt's fundraiser at Cheltenham. Can I just ask you, Max, because you said the people, and knowing you how I mean, I don't know you as well as Paddy would, but I know you a little bit, obviously, from the chats we've had over the years. I would imagine it gives you a bit of a kick that this is with Paul Nicholls, because I was at Newbury the other day and there were 2 really good young horses, Act of Innocence beating another really good young horse of Skelton's, and both of them were in the Nicholls stable last season. They're both not in the stable this season, and Paul was there, and I was thinking, this must be just so hard, even though he never really comes out and says how hard it is. I imagine it gives you a bit of a kick that you've got this horse that could just propel a person who's been multiple champion trainer back into the big time.
100%. I couldn't have put it better myself. I'm absolutely, well, first of all, from an owner's point of view, there's nobody else I'd rather have a horse like that with, full stop. He's a champion trainer. This is potentially, and I use that word, potentially, because it's all potential at the moment, potentially a champion horse. And, if you're going to pick somebody to be with, it's Paul and Clifford and the team. Fantastic. And look, you all had to feel for Paul when he saw those 2 lovely young novices do what they did at Newbury that day. And yeah, I mean, having said that, Paul is not been a champion 14 times for no reason. He's got, I know he's got some good investment just come back into the yard. He's got some great loyal owners, and I know some of them, and I know some of them have just invested some lovely horses back with Paul. And, he's having, whilst a quiet season by his standards, it's still pretty good. I think he's 3rd or 4th in the championship, or 2nd or 3rd. He's right up there. And, he's still got, no drama aside, he's got some lovely horses. And, I think, I did feel happy for him. I do feel happy for him that he's got no drama. And, I know he'll be back bouncing and back on the top where he belongs.
It literally probably is a case, Max, as we will leave you in peace, that he can wake up on the morning now and say to himself, there is no drama this end. Max, lovely to speak to you. Thanks so much for picking up the phone to Paddy. I'm quite surprised you did. But,
cheers, Max.
But it's nice to be surprised in life.
Tell him anytime. I always pick up the phone to him. He never picks up the phone to me.
Yeah, well, join the club. You're not the only one. The only problem is when he rings you, he's probably flogging you a horse, so be careful.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly.
Have a good day, Max. Thanks for answering.
See you tomorrow. Pleasure.
Top man.
Bye.
Top man. Excellent job there, Paddy.
Well,
I was surprised.
But look, the game, Max is a good man, and yes, I have flogged him the odd horse, but I don't have any at the moment, so I'm not ringing him about that. But racing's better for having people like him in it. He says he doesn't invest heavily. Yes, he does, Matt. He's put his heart, his soul, everything he's got into the game with his wife Paula, Ella, the son Jack. I think that, as a family, they love going racing. Max's brother, great team. They bring a lovely people racing, and Max works in the Royal Box at Cheltenham now, and he's doing a fantastic job bringing new people into racing. And I wish him, Matt, if there's one person to have a Cheltenham Festival winner, it's him, and let's hope it's no drama this end.
Yeah. Novices at the moment, Dr. Steinberg didn't get many headlines, but scored at Navan. Beauport authorities. My Daddy Paddy is currently favourite for the Supreme Bambino. Have any novices, like, the general gist seems to be that we're going to be serving it up to the Irish a bit more than we have been. But are we just saying that because Willie Mullins hasn't really fired any massive bullets yet?
I think we are, Matt. And when you heard Max there saying Rich Ritchie has purchased some very exciting horses, they will be seen at Christmas and the Dublin Racing Festival, and that will be the key point for the Irish contenders. Look, my Daddy Paddy, he's 2 out of 2, Matt. You couldn't be any more impressed with him.
He's a skeleton, yeah.
He beat the horse of Jamie Snowden's, and he's no mug at Haydock, and he went by him like he was stood still. He could not be any more impressive. He's got the world at his feet, and at the moment he's the worthy favourite.
Have there been any others that have caught your eye at all, or just what about likes of Davy Crockett, Love Me Tender, all those kind of horses?
They haven't, Matt, to be honest, there's a couple of them I've probably not seen, but there's nothing really jumping out at the minute for me bar My Daddy Paddy. But you made a very good point. What Willie unleashes over Christmas is, we might just see a superstar then. Yeah. I mean, I feel at the moment it's kind of even Stevens, but there's that feeling that Mullins is about to erupt, and obviously on the back of Etait Temps win, you're kind of thinking he can just almost pick and choose, and when he wants to erupt on the scene, he will. We talked a lot about the championship. Load of Sud, just because we're mentioning the Skeltons as far as My Daddy Paddy is concerned. Got to be patient in this game. That horse, I know they're not going to run it, I think, now to the Champion Chase, but I suppose the prize was just too big and you had to go, but everything about that horse spells. I mean, why is it if a horse can only run once or twice a season? That's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, at that top level though, Matt, to be at your very best, maybe you have to be fresh, but
you don't, do you?
I know you.
Desert Orchid ran every other week.
Yeah, but every horse is different, Matt. You're different to me. Look at your hair. Look at mine. It's different.
Well, I'm just aging better.
But different type of horse. And I know what you're saying. Why does he have to? Look, he went to Sandown, and I said he was beat early in the race. Maybe he doesn't love Sandown. I know he won the year before, but look, you watch him at Cheltenham. He absolutely loves the place. Get him in the form of his life. Touch wood, you're guaranteed to jump round. You love the place. You go there at your best. There's always hope, Matt.
We're going to talk much more. Just to say, if you do like my Faheen t-shirt, I love this t-shirt. It's made by a company called Little Home of Prints. They don't have a million products or anything like that. It's just a small business, as we've already said on this show. Very, very happy to support small businesses that are trying to just do things in horse racing. I'm very happy to do that. Little Home of Prints. They're on Etsy and things like that. They've got a lovely cue card t-shirt,
have they? Yeah.
which I'm going to get you for Christmas.
I'm all right.
But what?
I'm okay.
Well, it's not him falling. Don't worry. He's standing up in the picture, so you'll be all right there.
Are you in the picture?
It's not you. Well, you're not. I tell you, because you were usually on the ground when he was running. But don't try and get at me when I'm being nice to you. Can you? I'll come back actually because I want to give someone else a quick plug. But while I look for their name, I want your eye catcher of the last 7 days. What? Give me one horse that sort of stood out.
Well, a horse of Fergal O'Brien's Get Out of My Way won a bumper at Marker Racing. Obviously, I bought him, didn't I? So I'm going to give him a mention. But look, grand horse. You'd like to think he'd be a 3-mile chaser in the future, and to go and win your bumper first time out. Two good owners, Ray Tracy and Steve. They don't need any introduction to wanting to get to the top. They told me what they're going to win. I said, lads, you might need a ladder to get there, but a bit of luck, he could be very good one day, Matt.
Right, special jockey guest today. You know, it's funny, this is a theme actually when I try and sort out who I might want to have on the show, Paddy. Ben Jones, really wanted to chat to him because know he comes from a horsey family, but he's doing really well. Best ever season last season. Clearly going to be his best ever season this season, the way things are going. But he said he'd come on Unbridled, but he did add, as long as you don't abuse me. I mean, that was a mistake, wasn't it? That was a mistake. That immediately, I thought...
You can't come on this show without abuse.
No, and I thought, what's he got to hide? I tried to dig everything out I could. Well, let's just get him on first of all. Morning, Jonesy. How are you?
All good. You all right?
Yeah. I mean, you're already looking a bit worried, but
I said I didn't mind a bit of abuse, just not.
You didn't actually say that.
Matt,
you said only if you don't abuse me. Those were your exact words. I've got them here in black and white. But so you know what? I did quite a lot of digging, which is the fun part of this job. It's a real struggle to find anything. I mean, Jonesy, either you're the dullest man on earth, or you keep your misdemeanors very much to yourself. Which of those two is it?
I'm just plain simple kind of guy. Nothing too exuberant, and just keep nice and quiet.
Look, he almost said that with a straight face, look, but not quite. You could see he was beginning to... So you're about to drive yourself to where? Where are you off to today? We're recording Wednesday.
Leicester.
Right.
Leicester today, got 2. So
you drive yourself. A lot of the top jockeys have a driver. Why don't you?
Funny enough, Ben Paulin and Sam Strong's been on the phone wanting me to get a driver, but everything costs money these days, doesn't it? So
get Ben Pauling to pay for that.
No, you got to keep the money in the pocket, and it's doing all right so far. So I'll just keep kicking until I get a bit too tired, I guess.
Because you're young, you're 26, but you're married, you've got a little kid, so you've got, responsibilities and stuff. So it's kind of important for you, not only on a professional level, but on a family level now as well, that things are going well. So they are going well, though. Shaking Up Harry, of course, won you your first Cheltenham Festival race. In general, how do you feel your career is going right now? How would you describe it?
I'm very happy with the way everything's gone. I think I've been more probably lucky in the sense of where I landed a job with the governor, Philip Hobbs and Johnson to start with. Doors kind of opened. Emma Lavelle at the time didn't really have a number one jockey, so I think I rode 30 odd winners for her one season, and I just got rolling that way. And look, everyone knows the governor, absolute gentleman, and I 100% wouldn't be here without him. So he was backing me up as well as all the other trainers, and I think I just went from strength to strength. I rode out my claim in a couple of years, just under a couple of years, and then I had a little bit of a steady season after I lost my claim, but then I started riding out for Ben, and that went from strength to strength, and now number one for him is I think I had my best year last year, and I'm pretty sure he did as well. So we're on the up, and I wouldn't swap my position for a lot of the other lads in the weighing room.
Ben, I've been watching you. I watch a lot of racing, and you mentioned luck, and I get that. But sometimes, Ben, as a jockey, you ride yourself into luck. You obviously go back to Philip Hobbs. I started in Paul Nicholls actually, and I went to Philip Hobbs, and I know how massive. And it's lovely that you mention him and how big a cog he can be in the wheel. But when you mention luck, I also think you got to ride your way into luck a bit. And when I watch you ride, I think you're a joy to watch. Horses seem to run for you. But we were sort of mentioning just before you came on as well. You're almost a very similar rider to Sean Bowen. I hope that's a compliment.
I wouldn't take that bad anyway.
When I was watching Sean Bowen yesterday on a horse called Fingalbridge, I was just looking at his hands, and I see similar in you. And it's, you talk about jockeys' hands, Ben. Some horses relax better for others. And when you watch the likes of you and Sean, it is a joy to watch. Horses are never, if a horse is over racing with you or Sean, then there's a serious keen problem. I do feel like horses really relax moving back to you. They relax for you, and things are going well for you, but as long as you stay in one piece, from what I can see, it's only going to get better.
Well, thank you very much, Paddy. That means a lot.
I mean, you're not nice to most people, so you just as a horseman, you're talking here that you think Jonesy's got it, yeah?
Yeah, I just think he's come into Ben Pauling's. Ben had lost a lot of horses to the Megsons, and there was a bit of a gap to fill, and I think they've went from strength to strength since Ben's come in there. Horses are running really well. They got some lovely horses. We'll go to them in a minute. But yeah, he's a big part, Matt. And he mentioned luck. Yes, of course you need luck, but he's come in there and he's made an impact, and things couldn't be going any better.
Ben, your dad Di, everyone knows, is clerk of the course at Chepstow, used to ride as well, but your mum used to ride. So essentially, was it just always going to be horses for you? Was there ever a moment you didn't think you'd be a jockey?
I actually did my first year farrier course in my first year pointing. So I did that, completed it. If I ever wanted to go back, then I'd only have another 3 years to qualify. So I think that was always to keep mum happy, in the sense of if riding didn't work out or if it wasn't gonna go well, then I could come back to something a bit more sturdy and a bit more strong. And yeah, like I think as soon as I rode pointing, obviously pony racing was a lot of fun, but pointing was the start of it for me, where I got the bug, and that's when I knew I just wanted to just ride every day and do that. So yeah, I kind of knew from a young age that that's what I wanted to do.
Didn't mum smash point to pointing though, but you were a little bit of a slow burner?
Yeah, mum probably is the best jockey in the family. She had a bad asthma. She was having asthma attacks and stuff through her racing, and she only rode a handful of times. She won her first ever ride and even now, like me and the old man would chat away and stuff, but mum would probably read a race a lot better than me and dad would, and no, she probably doesn't get enough credit for how good she probably was.
Mum's name is
Emma Jones.
Oh, it's Emma Jones, right?
Emma Jones.
Emma Jones, yeah. Okay, so you're bred into it. You're going well. You've now got the horses. Obviously, I mean, let's just get straight into the big boy. The Jukebox Man is the horse at this minute who can propel you into greatness, effectively, if you go and win the King George. Added to the fact he's owned by Harry Redknapp, who's one of the most famous people in the country. All in all, this is a big package of responsibility now.
Yeah, but I think as in my point of view, you got to look forward to those kind of days, because like today now I'm driving off to Leicester, but realistically at the back of our mind we're thinking a few weeks time we be sitting on the likes of the Jukebox Man on Boxing Day in a Grade 1, you know, and that's what kind of keeps pushing you and keeps wanting you to improve. But I said to Ben the other day, I genuinely think I ride £10 better off in a big race. I just love the buzz, I love the pressure, and normally they seem to be running all right. So hopefully that can continue.
And as far as his comeback run was concerned, did he feel like the real Jukebox Man? I mean, he was in some ways always going to outclass that field, but did he really give you that sort of electric feel that you got before he had an injury?
Yeah, I was a little bit not worried beforehand. He got a little bit excited when I got on him, and he was a bit jig-joggy and cantering on the spot before we got going. And if you remember back at Newbury, first run over fences, he was very exuberant and taking on the fences outside the wings, and it took me 5 or 6 just to settle him down and to get in a rhythm, and for him just to get racing. But I was thinking, hey Doc, is he going to be a bit fresh and take me a lap just to get him into a rhythm? But as soon as the flag went down, he just lobbed. He saw the fence, attacked them, didn't do anything stupid. I gave him a squeeze, one down the back, and he went in and gave it a little pop, and that to me was reassuring, because I thought he was obviously going to be fresh and he was going to do everything the wrong way, but he was so professional, and I knew as soon as we turned for home, the minute I gave him a click and give him a squeeze down to 4 out, he was always going to pick up, and yeah, he definitely still got the engine anyway.
Yeah, it was good to watch Ben again. Good horse, you know. Moving on to King George, like he does go a bit slightly left, but you don't see that as a concern?
Well, he goes left around left-handed tracks more than he would around when he won around Kempton last year. He only went right and maybe 2 or 3, and only ever so slightly when he was in short. So to be honest, I haven't got any problems with it. If he wants to go a tiny bit left, then that's fine. I don't think we're not going to lose 10 lengths throughout the race. I don't think. If we lose a length here and there, then fine. But I don't think it's gonna be a problem for him.
And would you like him to get a lead, or you, from what we've seen, happy to front run? In many ways, when he ran at the Cheltenham Festival and got picked up, I thought that was almost his best ever run. It was absolutely brilliant. But from what we read at the moment, I spoke to Tom George the other day. He said Etait Francais, if he runs, of course, and he might not be in the field, but if he is in the field, he's going to go hard on the front end. Would that be exactly the makeup you would love? Someone to go off hard and you can just sit second or third, sort of thing?
It's probably the first race that he's going to be, without disrespecting the others, but it's a proper test for him, really. Every time he's ran, he's been favourite, short price favourite, and like you said, he hasn't really beaten a lot behind him, and he's just kind of gone through the motions. He's quickened up 2 out, and he's put the race to bed. So when he won round Kempton the last day, he had a lead all the way around to 2 out or 3 out, and we joined Nico, and he's quickened up nicely. To be honest, he's very versatile. If Etait Francais goes off like the clappers, then he'll just settle in behind him, and it'd be nice to get a lead rather than do the donkey work, like you say.
Ben, when you sit on a horse like that, does he feel different to the others? Like, do you immediately know you're on something a bit unusual, or is it not really like that?
If you sit on him at home, he wouldn't throw you away. He's a little bit workmanlike at home and doesn't really show a whole lot. But as soon as he gets the track, it's like a complete different jukebox. And I think the main thing is that he just finds everything so easy. Jumping, travels, not keen. Everything's just so straightforward with him. And I think that's what his upper hand to a lot of other horses. He hasn't really got any downside other than, if you want to say he goes a little bit left, then that's it. But I couldn't really find many other faults with him.
No, and he's won the novice chase round Kempton at the end of the day. Just wanted to ask you about a couple of others. Diva Luna, she's always been the apple of Ben's eye. She hasn't always delivered, but that novice chase at Bangor, did she give you a feel of something a bit special that day?
Very similar. I thought I went an even gallop, jumped really, really well, and just turning her home, I just thought I'd just quicken up a little bit, and I looked round at 2 out, and no one was anywhere near me. So, that day was probably the more finished performance that we kind of thought she had. She's obviously so in and out all previous years, other than her bumper campaign, and that day she just found everything so easy. I think the ground played a massive fact. She handles soft ground really well. She's obviously a big strong mare, and she's due to run tomorrow at Warwick, so we'll find out a little bit more. But no, I was really pleased and taken by her performance at Bangor, and hopefully her last year when she was in and out, hopefully we can put that behind us and go from strength to strength this year, because she seems in good order at home.
Sorry, Paddy.
Ben, when you're riding a horse like that and you turn in a Bangor and you look around, you think, God, I'm a long way clear. They're the good ones, Ben, because you feel like not a lot's happening, but they're covering the ground, and it was very impressive. She's definitely one to look forward to.
And I wanted just to chuck in Mambo number 5, because he was a bit of a weird winner of the Adonis sort of thing, and he got the job done there, and he didn't necessarily quite go on, but he's doing nothing wrong over fences. I love the way he travelled into it in Newbury the other day. He looks as though, again, he I'm not sure if he's more handicaps than grade ones. I don't know. Time will tell. But there's some more big ones in him.
100%. I think the thing with Mambo is that he probably shouldn't be winning over 2 mile on the way he has been. Both times now down the back straights, I've been flat out, and I've just had to sit on him and hope that the race comes back to me. And he kind of comes there swinging 3 out, looking like he's doing it easy, but he was definitely like he's only 4. He's gigantic, and for him to get up to top speed takes a long time. So he's going to be one now when he goes up in trip. Whether or not he does this year or not, I'm not sure. But when he will, like, he's 100% going to be better over a trip. So I think we probably not nurse him through this year, but realistically, he is going to be better in a year or 2 times. So we nursed him through his novice hurdle campaign. So it'd be silly not to look after him now again.
Ben, I know you got to go. You're going to Leicester. I just want to ask you about a horse you won on an entry. I know it was only 3 runners. Hell of a race. Taras Bay. Harry Redknapp and a friend of mine, Jeff Hill, they own him. He looks very good.
Yeah, I was a little bit not surprised with him, but when he won at Stratford, he hung a bit left and down the back. I didn't think I was going to go and win, and then I went from thinking that to turning in winning easy. So it was a bit of a weird run. Didn't really know what to make of him, but he come out of it well. We went. Obviously, we thought, well, we run him in Aintree. Yeah, it wasn't a big field, but I know the Hobbs White Horse. They think a lot of that, and Twiston's obviously like theirs. So realistically, I didn't really know what to expect. We were going to find out a lot more from that run. I was very impressed by him. He just went round, didn't pull, jumped really well, and when I really needed him up the home straight, he pinged 2 out and he pinged the last, and I only gave him a flick and he quickened up nicely. So I think he's going to be one that is probably going to improve for a little bit of a trip, and he's probably one to be looking forward to. He's probably one that's not going to be as highly as some of the other novices going into bigger races, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him play a part in a big one anyway.
Yeah, I'm not
Lovely bunch of horses.
Yeah, lots to look forward to. Although I'm not absolutely sure it was the best idea to do in Captain Hugo's. Obviously, Hobbsy's and Johnson White's one of his best. I'm sure they had a few words to say to you at a later date after that.
Johnson hasn't spoke to me since. So,
Yeah. I saw him that day. I was there. He did not leave a happy Johnson White. I tell you, it was just after Sober Gloria got stuffed as well. It was not a good 20 minutes. Paddy, in the weighing room, who is your best mate? Like who? I know you were a nutter, but you must have had someone you liked. Someone.
I liked everyone. I'm not sure how many people like me. I got on well with Harry Skelton, Will Kennedy.
Right.
David Bass.
I mean, they're quite young.
Could
you
play
were
the
in
drums.
there about 100 years. There must have been an older one. I don't know. Who would say Jonesy, are your mates in the weighing room? I'm always interested to know, like, who's your friend?
So our side, the weighing room, we obviously got the Welsh corner. So the likes of Sean James, Lorcan, Richard Patrick, Conor Brace, loads of lads. And we always sit next to each other. And Harry Cobden's in the middle of us, and I swear he still wants to be Welsh to this day. But yeah, so in the sense of in the weighing room, it would be the Welsh lads, and we kind of stick together. And probably outside it would be probably Callum Pritchard. I speak to him most days, A, regarding rides, and B, just regarding everything in Ben's and what's going well, what's not going well. So he's kind of my eyes and ears, and no, we seem to get on well. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. We were going to mention Callum Pritchard, but 1 or 2 people advised me perhaps it might not be the best thing to do, so we won't. But you didn't mention Charlie Hammond there. Would he be vaguely friendly with you?
Yeah, I'd be happy. I'd be friendly with
what
Charlie Hammond.
What have you done to your phone? Bring it back, man.
Someone's ringing me. Right, can you see me?
You're okay.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Well, I had a quick word with Charlie Hammond. As you said, we would never abuse you on this show. That's not what we're here for. But we are here to bring all the latest news. So let's see what Charlie had to say, if I can get this working.
Chappers, Ben Jones, great bloke, loyal as they come. Came on my stag do and left very early. Him and Cobden didn't even make it to the second day. I think they left at about 4 o'clock in the morning, went straight home from Manchester to bloody down to Devon, but that's them. Only bit of dirt I've really got on him is he's a good bloke, good rider, but what he does like to do is some of the lads, when they're riding Nice Winner, they buy all the lads and the girls a drink in the yard. Ben Jones decides to give them all baby bows instead. He makes sure he buys packets on the way racing for them. That's the only bit of dirt I got on him. Other than that, he's a boring bugger, but a good man.
And he did just want to emphasise this bit here.
I just want to reiterate, I'm not sure if he had a curfew or not, but that him and Cobden didn't even last 12 hours in Manchester. They must be fairly under the thumb, those two boys. Maybe that's one for Jonesy to answer that.
So first of all, instead of buying a drink for the staff, if you have a big winner, you buy them cheese, yeah?
No, I've never, ever bought anyone cheese, let alone the members of staff. I'd stop in one of the services on the way and I would buy 4 or 5 packets of donuts and I would take them in.
Okay.
I have no idea where the cheese is coming from.
Are you under the thumb?
No.
Why did you go home so early on his stag? Why couldn't you see it out for a second day?
I think I'd have been in the car with you. Go on, Ben.
Because I am a countryman and there wasn't one field in sight. And I did not appreciate where I was walking through some of the sidewalks and everything. Nah, it wasn't for me.
No.
And this will even say how much of a rough spot we were in. When Cobden said, "Oh, do you want to come back with me? I'm leaving in the morning." I was like, "Yeah, grand." So I did that. We walked to the car. He parked in a multi-car park.
Yeah.
As we got to the car, his back window was smashed in, and he had a multi-pack of fags, and they were nicked off his back seat. So that's
lovely.
That's why I wanted to go home.
Sounds lovely place.
Yeah,
it's a long story, isn't it? I'm sticking with the baby bow. Finally, Jonesy, you don't really have to answer this. I think your facial expression will give everything that we need to know away. But you have a choice here. You can either explain the answer to the next question, or you can just go on your way to Leicester and I'll explain it on the podcast. But why do you think you might have a little bit of phobia about chicken nuggets?
Chicken nuggets. I don't know. I think I just had them too many times.
Yeah.
I can just,
of course, it's the way you eat them, I suppose. But anyway, yes, okay. We will. I'll explain because I think it's.
Yeah, we need to.
I think it's not one for Jonesy to explain as well. But I think the viewers will all enjoy that story in a moment or two. Once Jonesy gets underway, I'll get a text from him saying, "Don't tell the chicken nugget story." Right. Thank you, Jonesy. Have a very safe journey, and I hope you've enjoyed the experience.
I have. Thank you very much, both of you.
Big race at the weekend is the December Gold Cup, but of course it's not the December Gold Cup anymore. It is the Hunt Family December Gold Cup. We're going to try and get Hunty on the phone in a moment, Paddy, and also try and find the winner of this race. But I don't think there'll be a single person watching this podcast who won't think that this is a fantastic gesture.
Yeah, look, Matt, you always go about horse racing, there's sometimes negatives, but when there's an issue in life with anyone, people come together. Fantastic. This has been put together again. We mentioned due for him tomorrow night at in Cheltenham, and it'll be a great weekend, and I imagine a very emotional one for him. Yeah,
there's a charity event at Cheltenham on Thursday night. Let's try and ring Hunty. I did warn him on this occasion. I don't usually warn our guests, but I did warn him we might try and ring him today, so we just got to hope that he picks up. That's him.
Morning, Matt.
Morning, Hunty. Thank goodness, because as of yet, I don't think we've had a guest who's failed to pick up the phone, and you're the first one that I've warned. So I was thinking, oh God, me old mucker will let me down. But lovely to hear your voice. I wish in some ways we were hearing it for different reasons. But look, you have spoken so brilliantly this week on many podcasts, and I'm very happy to say, if anyone wants to listen to John talking about him and his family, then listen to Nick Luck's podcast from earlier in the week, because no one could ask the questions better or hear better answers than in there. And I don't want to try and match that, Hunty, but I want to keep it relatively simple, to be honest, and just say to you for a start, why is there the December Gold Cup Hunt Family race? What made you come up with the idea, and how can people give and help you?
Well, I mean, two very short answers, followed by hopefully a longer one. Everything that's been generated towards this auction and the December Gold Cup being renamed in honour of the girls, has been at the feet of other great people like Kerry Clark and Maurice Hartnett and everybody at Cheltenham. Megan Furze gave you a ring to say they really like the idea, and would we be okay with it? And we're of course more than okay with it, because it's all for such a good cause. Which brings us on to the silent auction, Matt, which again has been really driven by a whole committee of people for many, many months now, trying to get this off the ground, from the BBC, Jonathan Overend and Rob Nothman and Mark Sharman, and a great pal of mine who you know as well, Tim Barder. They've all been, and them and many others have driven it forward. So Amy and I have just been sort of smiling and nodding away as people have developed this from a kernel of an idea to the reality that's bearing fruit this week. So yeah, we're absolutely thrilled, and obviously, Matt, with regard to the silent auction, we're so thrilled and touched by how many people have been so generous in giving us some amazing items for people to bid on. Most of the items are absolutely spectacular. My breath's taken. I still can't quite believe the generosity of the good people out there.
Yeah, and Hunty, your family. Still your family, all of them are your family. They always will be. And the way everyone talks about you, when I talk to them about you, people often ask me about you. Everyone just talks of you in glowing terms. You have always talked about your family in glowing terms. It was a unit that every other family out there would like to have. And I think as much as anything, the biggest message you've been able to put up there, apart from the fact you're helping people now, is that family is important, and treasure what you have every minute of the day.
Yeah, I think so. The tragedy that befell us, Matt, I think the root of that tragedy came from a dysfunctional family, and it hit a family that was really close, really intimate, was all about love. And as we head towards Christmas, Matt, all I would say really is, that if it happened to us, it could happen to anybody, and I say that without scaring anybody. But look, you and I have talked many, many times, haven't we, about how the nature of life and how things can change in a split second, and that is true. So look, this Christmas, I think it'd be great if people could think of us. That's great, but in doing so, perhaps really properly engage with their loved ones this week, this Christmas year. It's we'll all pitch up, and some of us at Christmas go through the motions. Auntie Peggy's there, and she annoys me with her sprouts and stuff like that. But just properly engage with people. Spend extra time under that mistletoe with your kids. Really, really invest in your time with the kids this year, especially. And don't just drop them off at the pub and pick them up and then drop them back at university. Just spend time really being with them authentically, generously, and that'll be the best gift you can give them this Christmas, without a doubt.
Yeah, 100%, Auntie. And as I say, if you want to hear more and more heartfelt conversation between John Hunt and Nick Luck, please go to Lucky's podcast and have a listen to a chat they had early in the week. Hunty, as Unbridled, we do have capabilities to try and help things a little bit. So I did a bit of phoning round, and I would like, after the show, to message you with a couple of items for the silent auction, which I think might help raise a few quid. I'm working on one or two other little things as well, but obviously we are slightly running out of time because this event is tomorrow night. But as I say, everyone speaks about you in incredible terms, so it was no surprise when I rang Barry Mann at Jubmont that he was only too delighted to add an item to the silent auction, which, as I say, I'll message you after the show. But just to let people know that Jubmont would love to invite people to bid on an item which will allow 4 people to come to the stud in Newmarket, Banstead Manor. Come and see Frankel. Come and see Enable, Blue Stocking, Kingman, have a morning with the stallions and the mares, have a cup of coffee and a tea, look round the place, and basically be treated like kings and queens for the morning. That would be for 4 people. I would hope that would raise a few quid, and I can't tell you in my words how much Barry emphasised that he wanted to do this because everyone at Judmont just love you. So that's going to go in. And Emma Banks, who everyone knows is extremely generous. She has her own charities which she supports. Nordoff Robbins, which is such an important music charity I should give a mention to. But she has a slightly strange prize because the thing is happening quite shortly. But she has a box at the O2 on December the 20th where Madness and Squeeze are playing. This is a box for 17 people. All the booze is free. All the food is free. So it's basically a right old Christmas fun party. She's going to happily chuck that into the silent auction. Anyone can bid on it. Obviously, they're going to have to sort plans out quite late. But it's for a lot of people. If you can get 17 people together. And as I say, perhaps most interestingly, a lot of people, along with the music, will be the fact that all the drink and food is absolutely free. You can just go and enjoy it. She would like to chuck that into the silent auction as well. And after the show, I'll message you with those details as well, Hunty. So while we can't physically do anything ourselves, hopefully indirectly, a few grand will be made out of those 2 prizes, and it will all add to the final pot, Hunty. And we're delighted here on Unbridled to be able to sort that out.
Well, that's very kind, Matt. Thank you for your efforts, and obviously to Emma and Barry as well. That's so generous. But it's just typical of the racing community. It's perhaps invidious to pick out 1 or 2 people, but you know, people are only in some circumstances only just hearing about this. I'll just give you a quick example. Anne and George Duffield are out in Barbados at the moment, and you know they. I think they saw the interview on Sky Sports Racing that I did the other day, and they thought, you know, they said we had no idea, and you know, straight away they donated a week at their Sunhill Lodge for 4, you know, a week's holiday up there in their luxury cabins, you know. So it's just typical, isn't it, of how racing people can be, you know, when they're asked for some help, everybody sort of rallies around and does help. And I'm really grateful, Matt. There's some great prizes on there. There's some, you know, you talked about that wonderful concert thanks to Emma Banks, but you know, Windsor have got a fantastic New Year's Day prize. You know, this New Year's Day, a box of 15 for 15, you know, you'll be fed and watered all afternoon. I mean, what a fantastic opportunity to get the extended family out for a day's racing, you know. So that's just one of many racing based prizes that are up there as well. So it's a bit overwhelming. It's all tremendous, and Amy and I are so grateful.
Yeah, I mean, nothing good can come out of what happened, really, Hunty, but there is an element of good, and I think everyone just wants to say that they are so sorry that this happened to you and your family, and everyone just wants to make sure that you know that everyone cares and doesn't want it to happen to other people, and that's effectively what you're trying to stop as well. So we're going to let you be. Actually, I better just ask you. Hold on, yeah.
No, all I would say, Matt, that you know, I do take your sentiment at face value, but you know, it's a really serious issue, isn't it? Between now and most of us carving our Christmas dinner on the 25th of December, if the stats remain true, and sadly they will, there'll be 6 women who are alive right now who will be dead on Christmas Day at the hands of male violence, and it's to support those people's families and young women who are able to survive without that happening to them, but still have horrendous things happen to them. They're the people we're trying to support, Matt. So yeah, I think it's very true to say that we are going to try and do some good out of this horrendous evil.
Yeah, and fantastic. And I think everyone just doffs every single cap that they have to you, Hunty. And as I say, there's nothing one can say, to be honest. I just say thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah, John.
Thank you for your strength. Thank you to Amy. Thank you for being the Hunt family, because you are all very, very special. And thank you for coming on today. And I hope you raise a bundle.
Thanks ever so much, Matt. And it's it's going to be an emotional night in many ways. We've got lots of family and friends there, as well as superstars from the world of sport and beyond. So it's going to be a really special day tomorrow. It's going to be a sad day, but the whole point is to try and raise as much money for women and girls who are really, really struggling right now, and that's the bottom line.
So that was John Hunt, emotional.
Well done, Matt. You've done a good job there, and lovely to hear.
It's as John said. It's just like racing people. Genuinely, when you speak to people about Hunty,
Yeah, look, you can't put it
They
into
love
words.
him.
He's
They
trying
love
to
him.
help other people. So
they love him, and
that's
they love him. They love the family, and they hate what happened. Right, we've got to go from. We've got to bring this show back to what it is. So let's talk about the Hunt Family December Gold Cup. A smallish field.
Yeah, not a big field, Matt.
I look back at Jaguar's win at Cheltenham. I don't think that was a great race.
Okay, a lot of weight.
Not a weight.
Matt,
What about Holy Joe Smoke? You must know
Yeah.
a bit about that one.
again, they're moving on to the. I get confused with the old and the new course, but they're moving on to the other course for this meeting, Matt. And it won't. I think the softer the better for him. And this ground might not be that bad. I know they're saying soft, but it's not the track that's been watered all summer. It might just ride nice ground. That'd be my only worry for him. Of the others, maybe looking through. Matt, I'm not so sure. What do you like?
Well, I mean, Vincenzo was in front of Holy Smoke last time. There is, I think, a question mark whether Vincenzo really sees out 2.5 miles. And he's a little bit worse off at the weights. But turning for home in the Paddy Power, he was going much better than Holy Smoke. And I think he has a bit more natural ability. You have to remember that Skelton ditched Holy Smoke, remember, in that race. He did ditch him.
How do you mean he ditched him?
Well, he rode Panic Attack. He ditched him.
Yeah, but I mean, there's.
What do you mean? What do you mean? How he ditched him?
Yeah, but it's good form.
Did he ride Holy Smoke?
What did Panic Attack do after that run?
He won the Coral Gold Cup.
Is it good form?
Yeah. Yeah, but he still ditched him. So what I'm saying is, he didn't think that he was the best horse for that race.
But this isn't as good a race as that, Matt, is what I'm saying.
It's got some similar. I at the moment, I'm very likely to tip Vincenzo.
And I could go with the Joseph O'Brien horse here.
Oh, the
Kim
Roque
Roche.
Fort.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Kim Roche.
Yeah. So that travelled like a machine when it came over here the other day. Didn't quite see it out.
Okay.
But it travelled. If it just needed the run a bit, I can see where you're going for in that. So, but I'll beat you.
Will you?
Yeah. Okay. What's our? Let's have a match bet. I'll have Vincenzo. You have Joseph.
Yeah.
Next week, what would you like to eat during the show?
Croissants.
Okay, I'll bring in croissants if you've beaten me. I would like a ginger cake. I love ginger cake.
The whole cake?
the whole cake, yeah. Do you think I'm not some one slicer? Don't you like? Does anyone not like? I love ginger cake. The one with the Jamaican ginger cake with the sticky toffee on the top and the ginger. It's only £1.
Okay.
But you bring a couple in, actually. No, because you'll want a slice of mine.
I won't. I wouldn't eat
Nothing annoys me more than someone taking.
You can have it.
It's like when you go into fast food and you say, "Do you want chips with your burger?" And they go, "No." And then when you sit in the car, they go, "Oh, can I have some of your chips?" No, F off. You could have had your own chips.
Yeah, I get that.
Anyway, not of course a race that you won the December Gold Cup.
Don't think I did.
One of the best in the calendar.
Did I win it?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you didn't win it.
Right.
No. Just a reminder to Boylesports about our special offer. Join and bet £10 to get £30 in free bets. Terms and conditions apply. We will be back next week.
There's one thing I want to say before we end, Matt. Nicky Henderson, you might not be answering the phone, but you will be back and you're a big part of this show. Very happy birthday today. Hope you have a lovely day.
Nicky! That went on a bit longer than I thought it would. We wish him well. And, that's just about it. Unbridled. Done and dusted. We will be back at Christmas as well with a King George special. But for now, we'll see you.